Hi everybody. So sorry I kept you waiting a minute or two, and I hope that my internet stays okay today, because anybody who's been tuning into my live chats in the past know that my medium, or my internet, I was going to say my mediumship isn't any good, but my internet itself is a bit up and down because I live in the countryside. So it's very weather dependent. I'm just looking at the sunshine on my face. I should have put on some makeup, but I'm not a makeup person. Anybody who's been to my house knows I'm very down to earth. I'm not anything special, and I don't think that I do anything special, okay? And everything that I relate to people, I can only relate from my personal experience. And I've been connecting with spirit since I was born, and so it's what I've learned from spirit, from my spirit guides, you know, even from people that come to me for readings. I'm always learning. It's a lifelong experience. Nobody knows everything, okay? And you will find that mediums differ, okay? And that's because of our differing experiences. And also the way that we communicate with spirit. I was just talking to somebody earlier, and I was telling them a couple of years ago I was listening to a medium talking on Irish radio. And he said on Irish radio, like, you know, to the whole country, that it wasn't possible to do a mediumship reading by Skype. And I was so angry, and I thought, well, just because, you know, your connections don't allow you to read by Skype doesn't mean that other people can't read by Skype. And the majority of my readings are by Skype, okay? And all you have to do is look at the reviews that I have online, okay, for the Skype readings. But anyway, today isn't about Skype. It's about general mediumship. In fact, I didn't want to make this about any subject in particular, because there's lots of things that I have posted about, you know, about connecting with somebody and how long you should wait after they've passed, you know, different things over the weeks. And I will be doing other things. Today's a holiday in Ireland. I'm in very relaxed mode because I was off yesterday and I've been off today, and I've just been relaxed, and I've been sitting out the back. It's nice and warm here, so the sunshine. But I do want to point out to people, because I talk a lot about crystals, okay? And anybody who's met me will know, or been to one of my shows will know, that I'm not the most confident person in the world, okay? I do this job and I love meeting people. And if I can put a smile on somebody's face or help them through something, that's the reason I do it. But this, I wear tiger's eye sometimes, for my confidence, okay? And you know, I have different ones in my office: lapis lazuli, I have mookaite, I have so many different things that help me with different parts. And I use rose quartz for emotional healing. I use a lot, okay? So I just want to point out, I just see one or two comments coming through there. This session is not about getting personal readings, okay? I can't do personal readings in this, because we'd be here forever, okay? Just wanted to answer a few general questions about mediumship. But there is a couple of things I just wanted to say to people, and I want to apologise for anybody who's waiting for a response from an email or a message or a phone call from me. I'm trying to get around to everyone, but it's actually getting a little overwhelming. I'm just a one-person show, okay? My husband, my son even, and you know, sometimes other family members help out answering emails and stuff. But it is overwhelming, and I can't afford to take on somebody to help. I don't charge that much money. I know people think, you know, that the €60 for a reading is phenomenal, but if you give half of that to the taxman, then you're left with not as much as you think. So, you know, unless I start raising my prices, I'm not going to be getting back to you immediately. Okay, I do try my best. And I definitely can't do readings by Facebook message. And, you know, I try and answer as many people as I can. But please, you know, if you're looking for prices, if you're looking to know when I'm available, everything is on my website. It's either sandiebyrne.com or sandiebyrnemedium.com. And everything is on there. There's no secrecy with regards to my prices. They're all on there for everybody to see, all the different kinds of readings, psychic and mediumship. And, you know, you can look on my calendar. There's a booking system there. You can go in, choose your time zone in wherever you are in the world, and look at my calendar and see when I'm available for readings, okay? So that's just if anybody is waiting for me to get back on them about how much a reading is and stuff. I'm trying my best, okay? And I do have to take some little time off for myself every now and again. So, when you do a reading, do you see the person or just hear them? Okay, Suzanne, there's a good question to start. Okay, so how do people connect with spirit? And this is something that I explain. I'm going to get myself comfortable now. Okay, so this is something that I explain at the beginning of every reading that I do for everybody, okay? First of all, let's start with the difference between a psychic and a medium, because it's very important when you're booking a reading that you do book the right person for you. Now, some readers will do everything and some readers will only do one thing. But the main two types of readings that people look for is psychic or mediumship, and they're very different things, okay? So in simple language, a psychic is somebody who connects with the energy of the living, and a medium is someone who connects with the energy of the dead, okay? So that might be an easy way to remember it for you. So a psychic is what in the olden days would have been called a fortune teller. Okay, so we recognize more now that our future isn't set in stone. Okay, when anybody reads you, now I use tarot cards. You could go to a reader who uses tea leaves, crystal balls. I have a crystal ball here in my office. Crystal balls, read your palm, or just read you by sitting down across from you. Okay, and it doesn't really matter what way people read. And for me, it's a confidence thing. I like to have the cards. Okay, they're my prop. And I said this, and I think I've said it before. I was on Canadian television last year and I called the tarot cards my prop, okay? Because people that come in here into my, and I'm in my office at the moment, so people that come into my office, they're nervous about something. They've come for a reading because they need direction or there's something going wrong in their life, so they're nervous, okay? So if I just sit there across from them, they're just going to be so nervous and I'm going to be so focused on them that, you know, they're kind of more difficult to read. So no matter what a reader is using, think of it as their prop. If I put out the cards on the table in front of you, okay, yes, I do get information from the cards, of course I do. But also the cards take your attention. And once your attention is taken away from me and you're looking at the tarot cards, then your energy is more open to be read. You're not guarded, you're not closed, okay? All your chakras are open. You're putting your attention on the cards, so then you're easier to read, okay? So that's why I choose to use tarot cards, because again, the confidence issue. I'm not a confident person, okay? Okay, so the mediumship. Okay, anyone who's a medium can connect with spirit, okay? And my belief is, and I've said this a million times already, I think everybody can do it, okay? It's just a matter of learning to read the signs. So, actually, I was just thinking there, I did have something here, I'm trying to think what it was this morning, and something that I didn't know, and I never read my own relatives, and we were talking about one of my relatives, and then all of a sudden an answer just came into my head about something about one of my relatives that I didn't know. And it turned out to be right. So I know they're trying to communicate with me. So it's just that moment when you know something about somebody or something about someone that died that you didn't know before. Okay, so I do feel it's something that everybody can do, and you know, as I get more confident, maybe I will start to do maybe some classes or just some circles, but I just don't feel ready just yet. I still think that I'm developing. Okay, so obviously anyone who's a medium can connect with spirit, okay? A medium, and you know, most of us would view heaven as being above and hell as being below or whatever. But if you imagine that the medium is the middle person between the spirit world and this world, okay? So they're just the medium, the middle ground that brings the messages through for you, okay? And I'm sorry if I'm covering my mouth for anyone who's lip reading. They're the medium person that's bringing the message through for you, okay? So it just depends how a medium makes that connection, okay? So there's different ways, and mostly when you see mediums advertising themselves, they stay around, or, you know, they state something about how they communicate. So it's, sorry, I'm getting distracted by messages, and I have my lapis lazuli here for focus, so I shouldn't be. But anyway, yeah, so they state something, most mediums will state on their advertising material, their websites, whatever, that they're clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairguscient. There's so many different terms, okay? And, you know, when I would have started, I suppose when I was very young, I didn't really think much about it. And as I got older and when I started really using the mediumship, if you like, it started out with clairsentience for me and other things developed from there. So don't be afraid if you've just got one thing that you're starting to work with, because once you get used to that, other things will kick in. So what do they mean? Okay. So clairsentience, okay. Clair is clear, and they all start with clear. So clairsentience is clear feeling, clairvoyance is clear seeing, clairguscience, clear smelling, clairaudience, clear hearing. So it's just telling you how the medium is connecting with the spirit. Are they seeing them? Are they feeling them? They're smelling them? They're hearing them? And there's other ones as well, okay? But a little bit of all will come into my readings. But the main two that I would use would be clairvoyance and clairsentience, okay? So that's clear seeing and clear hearing. Okay, so do I always see the spirit? Not always. Okay, sometimes I feel like I'm looking through their eyes, and I'm, you know, I see different things. I'm looking at my hands, I'm looking at the house, I'm looking at the people that I remember. And sometimes I'm looking at them, or sometimes they just show me different things, like they wore glasses, or they had a moustache, or they smoked a pipe, or all these different things. So do I still see people in the physical format? Not as much as I did as a child. Okay, and I always say to people, that's because children have to see something before they believe it. Okay, so sorry, but itchy nose. I think there's going to be an argument. That's what my mother used to always say. It's going to be an argument if you have an itchy nose. But you know, when you see medium programs on television, and I'm not talking about Sally Morgan or you know, Teresa Caputo. I'm just talking about, you know, things like Medium, which is an actual, you know, not a documentary, but a drama program. Okay, so they show the spirit walking through walls, floating through ceilings, and all the rest of it. It's not like that. Okay, it's not. I don't go around all day every day seeing spirits, you know, floating around. But you know, when I see them, they stay for very little time. And the reason for that is it takes so much energy. They're conjuring up a vision of what they looked like when they were alive on this earth. And look, we know we don't have that, they don't have that physical body anymore, okay? We either buried it or we cremated it or whatever. So they don't have that physical body, but they can conjure up a vision of it when they get enough energy, but it's not what they look like anymore. Okay, so they tend to show me different things about them, you know, and you know, some women come through. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, it just paused there for a second. So if it does pause, I'll not talk while it pauses, and bear with me. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, they don't have that physical body anymore. So they'll show me different things about themselves. In some cases, they'll show me a clearest picture and I can describe them to a T. In other cases, not so much. And in some cases, well, mostly, probably not when I'm doing readings. And the reason for that is when I do readings, I schedule them over 45, 50 minutes, maybe even sometimes up to 60 minutes. Okay, and you know, that's a long time for someone to stay. So they save their energy for communication, okay? So mostly when I see spirits now, it's kind of when I'm at home on my own, when someone's trying to come through. I put up a post there in the Waterford group there last week, that when I was down in Waterford, someone just, you know, popped in really unexpectedly, and, you know, a little, I just stressed, I guess, okay, because they were very recently passed. But, you know, and in that case, I saw him so clearly. You know, so it just depends, and he only stayed for, you know, 20, 30 seconds. So, you know, they save their energy for the communication. So it's what you see, whether it's in your head, and I describe it like telepathy, so it's a transfer of thought. So spirit don't talk, they don't have their physical voice anymore. So they tend to use a transfer of thought, and that's what it's like for me. So they show me pictures, so they might show me photographs, they might show me memories. I see little video clips very clearly, okay, about memories. And so with that, okay, so this is where you get the real information, is clairsentience, okay? So as a spirit's coming closer to me, and I tend to feel them first before I see anything. So, you know, you tend to feel all the obvious things. Are they male, are they female, are they young, are they old? Did they die suddenly, or, you know, did they pass after an illness? You know, all the things. And, you know, if they're sad, if they're happy, you know, if they're showing you memories and it's a sad memory, they'll make you feel sad. If it's a happy memory, they'll make you feel happy. If you're sad and emotional talking to somebody, then they're going to be sad and emotional talking. I'm going to be sad and emotional talking to you if they're getting sad and emotional, okay? So, you know, it's just, it depends on the person, and, you know, you're going to find out all their feelings. Unfortunately for me, one of the first things that I tend to feel about somebody is something about how they died, okay? And I've explained that in a previous video, but very quickly, my own belief as to why that happens, and every medium is different, it's not going to happen for every medium, because I lost a relative very suddenly, after a motorcycle accident actually, when I was a teenager, and I became very fixated on how he died and why the crash happened and all that kind of stuff. So I think that is why I tend to feel a lot about how people passed, because I just, for a long time I was fixated on it, okay, and to find out why. He was only 31 years old, so, you know, and he was perfectly healthy. So why did the accident happen? You know, why did he die? What happened to his body and all this kind of stuff? So I think that's probably the reason. And one other thing that I do tend to have a good success rate with, I feel, is babies, children, young people, okay? And it was explained to me when I was training in London in Stansted Hall, or the Arthur Findlay College, it's known by both names, by one of my tutors, that, you know, whatever you've experienced in life will affect your mediumship, okay? So my husband and I have lost several babies through miscarriage, okay? And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I can connect with babies so well. And also I worked with young people. My background is in third level education. And I spent 13 years working in a college and working with younger people. And, you know, I would have spent a lot of time, you know, helping them. I'm not a counsellor, but I just happened to work in an area where they could access me easily and come to me with different problems. So that's one reason I think why that I get a lot of young people. So I think that answers somebody's question there. Was just, hi Mary, just see your post there from Harvard, Illinois. Hi, thank you for tuning in. It's lovely to know that there's people in different time zones here as well. And that's why I know it was only 2 hours notice today, but I just wanted to give people a little bit of notice, because I have been getting messages saying, I didn't know you were going to go live, I'd love to see you live and stuff. It's really, I kind of grab the opportunity when I can, okay? But what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to do some later, I actually have Facebook, or not Facebook, but a YouTube channel, and I've uploaded some of my live videos there so people can watch them without, you know, having to search through my Facebook timeline. But I have some more on my iPad that I'm going to try and upload later if the internet will let me, okay? So thanks for tuning in. Hello from Minnesota. Oh my God, it's lovely to see so many people from the States, because I do a lot of work by Skype to the States, so it's great to see that, you know, you're tuning in here as well. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, just very briefly today, because I don't want to upset too many people, but it's been on my mind a lot this weekend, and I've actually, I'm going to get emotional talking about it, because it's very dear to my heart. Now, I haven't lost a relative or somebody close to me through suicide, thank God, okay? But, you know, there's been people around me, and part of my job, and I am getting emotional because I've dealt with so many parents over the last couple of weeks who've lost children by suicide, and I'm a parent, okay? And I don't know what life is going to throw at me, but I really would hope that it doesn't throw, you know, a death by suicide into the mix, because we've so much to deal with. And I just wanted to make people aware. I mean, I don't know about, I know there's people tuning in from, you know, the States and Germany and UK and all over the place, okay? I've got loads of messages asking questions before I even went on air, so I haven't had a chance to get through them all, okay? But suicide's a huge problem in Ireland, and I know that it happens all over the world, but I live in Tipperary, which is one of the highest rates of suicide in Ireland. And, you know, it upsets me. It upsets me that anybody could feel that there is no other way out. And if anybody on here has thought about it, oh, Niamh, or Piv, sorry, I called you Niamh, from Dubai, hello. It is Niamh Prendergast, isn't it? You've just reversed your initials. It is Niamh Prendergast. Hi, Niamh. Okay, so, oh, sorry, I'm playing with my lapis lazuli and I dropped it on my glass table. Okay, I don't know what to say about suicide, and I can't fix it. I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, okay? I can only talk from personal experience. And Suzanne, you've lost somebody through suicide. Waterford is Suicide Prevention Patrol. This is brilliant, okay? Like, if you've considered suicide, as I say, I worked in third level education, and I did, you know, I did stay at work. I remember one night I stayed at work till 11 o'clock talking somebody down. I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a psychiatrist, but it was getting so huge at the time, and I just felt that I couldn't leave somebody else's child who was staying away from home on their own when they were considering ending their life. I'm a mother, and I just can't imagine what it would feel like to lose a child. Brother, sister, uncle, and it doesn't matter, a family member, and to think that somebody felt so low that there was no other way out. And I did a suicide first aid course, okay? So what that was if you come across somebody who is thinking of ending their life through suicide. You know, it's about talking to them, it's about listening to them, and it's about finding something that they can hold on to. So if someone has children, if somebody has a mother, if someone has a best friend, a brother, a sister, any reason that you can find through talking to them that would give them a reason to go on. And I know from some of my readings through people that have died by suicide that everybody's different. There is no two cases the same, okay? Everybody has different reasons and, you know, different issues going on in their lives. But and even after they feel, the one thing that comes across a lot when I'm reading people that have died by suicide is that they haven't thought past the point of death. Their only concern at a particular moment is to end the pain that they're feeling. Well, you know, everybody feels pain, and the best thing that we can do, and I've started saying it, I've been doing it for a while now, because I've been working full time with the mediumship now for nearly 3 years, and even though I was just doing it part time before then, and I started saying to my children very early, there's nothing you can't tell me, and there's nothing that you can tell me that would ever stop me from loving you. And I think just keeping the lines of communication open, not just with your children, but with any family member. And if you see that they're in distress, now I'm not blaming any family member for anybody that dies by suicide at all. It's nobody's fault, and it is a recognised illness, okay? But what can we do to stop these people? And I can't tell you. I can't tell you what we do to stop people dying by suicide. But what can we do? What can we do? The best thing we can do is let them know that they can talk to us. If they choose not to, then we can't take that blame, okay? Because for whatever reason, they've chosen this path. Now, I would like to say thanks. I have a friend in Canada that I toured with last October. We toured Ontario. Her name is Liz Throp, and she's a psychic. And she told me her theory that she got from her guides on suicide. And I've meditated on it a lot because it is such a huge problem in Ireland. And I completely buy into it. We all have exit points in our lives, okay? We have exit points, and I mean, how many of us have gone too wide around a bend when we've been driving the car thinking, oh, that was close? Or, you know, we've nearly slipped and fell off something, or, you know, we did something stupid when we were teenagers, and we think, oh, you know, that was a near miss there. But we all have exit points, and we have so many of them, and sometimes we run out of them, okay? And in some of those instances, that is why people choose to go by suicide, okay? And it's sad. I worked with another friend of mine, Karina, last year on a missing persons case, and we've tried different things working on missing persons cases, and in some cases we've been approached by families. In other cases we've seen them, you know, on Facebook or on the radio or whatever, and we use them to practice, okay? It's not our business to put what we find on Facebook. We will only, you know, give it to family members if they choose to contact us, because these cases aren't any of our business. We just use them to practice. But we were approached by family, and we worked on a few cases, and one of them was a young man who had died by drowning, but it was a suicide, unfortunately. And we didn't connect with him. We connected with a close family member using the Ouija board, and I know a lot of people have an issue with the Ouija board, but I use it a lot. And yeah, a close family member came through and told us what had happened, and you know, where it had happened and where he could be found and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, and the answer was that he was just called home. There was, you know, according to his family, seemingly nothing wrong in his life, nothing going bad, everything was going tickety-boo, and all of a sudden he was gone, he was passed, and there was no reason for it, okay? So in some cases, I guess they are just called home. In some cases, people have thought it out to the nth degree. They've planned it, they know they're going to do it, and a sense of calmness comes over them when they've made their decision. Then in other cases, it's just really spur of the moment. They feel down and they take the opportunity. You know, and in, you know, I've read so many different types of suicide, different people, different age ranges, you know, different sexes, different problems. And some of them will regret it immediately. because they haven't thought only about ending the pain. Okay, they haven't thought beyond the death, if you like, and what's going to happen, and how their family are going to feel, because it's a very personal thing, and they become engrossed in themselves, as we all do from time to time. And others then don't regret it at all, and they say if they were back they'd do the same thing. So you see, you can't apply the same rules to everybody, but I just want people to be more aware, and I know you are. I'm not saying anybody's bad relative. Don't forget to tell people that you love them, that you care for them, and that you're there to listen, okay? Because sometimes that's all it takes. Some people can't be helped. But I just wanted to bring that up today because I've been very upset recently, because I've had so many family members have readings for people that have died by suicide, and just within, the last 6 months, 12 months, and it's horrific. Okay, it's such a loss of life when there is so much life out there. Okay, so let me take a quick, now I'm using my iPad to record, so I'm just going to try and go on here and look at some of the comments, okay? So, because I can't really scroll through that while I'm watching, so let me have a look. Oh, okay, I hate Windows 10. Can I just say that I hate Windows 10? I don't know if anybody out there is technical in any way, shape or form, but it's just impossible. It takes so long to start up your computer, to do anything. I just want to go back. Yeah, I see myself giving out here now. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's start. Hi, okay. Chelsea, I'm not even going to try. Split Tozer, you feel your angels and it's incredible what they can do. Oh, without doubt or question. Talk to your angels. Angel spirit guides, they're there for you. That's what they're for, okay? We don't call them guardian angels for nothing. Okay. Okay. Can you tell us how to get rid of negative energy? Okay. Navroz. Okay. Black magic negative energy. Okay. I was talking to somebody recently about this, and there was something on telly recently where, so I'm conscious that I keep putting my hand over my mouth, so I'm sorry if you're lip reading, where a curse was put on somebody, but, it was, has anybody ever seen the film In the Name of My Father? And I think she calls it a kick and trip curse or something like this, but she's only joking, she just wants to make the woman feel bad. And I think this has a lot to do with it. Now, I appreciate that there's things in this world that I've never experienced, okay? But in my own experience, any negative energy that's brought on you is brought on you through yourself, okay? You believe something that somebody's told you, you've got it in your head, so you're manifesting it. And that's something that I'm going to do maybe later this week, is talk about how we can manifest things in our lives. But you manifest the negative energy. So it's about clearing it out of your head. There is things, like black tourmaline and different crystals. Some people burn sage to get rid of energies. Whatever works for you. But really and truly, think logically. And I'm a very logical person. Think logically about if it's possible for somebody, an earth being, to put that kind of a curse or black magic on you. I'm not a believer, okay? I've talked about negative energy and negative spirits and evil spirits and all that before, and I'm not a believer, okay? Okay, so I'll just say it once and I'm going to whiz past the messages that I'm not doing individual readings today, okay? So, okay. Do I ever get scared of messages? Oh, do I? Spirits tell me. Not scared, Teresa. That would be the wrong word, I guess. I would be apprehensive about passing some of them on, but I have to. It's not my job to censor messages that Spirit give me. If someone gives me something, it's for the person that's there getting the reading. It's not for me. And it really is none of my business. And this may sound cold, but I have to try and switch off from my feelings with regarding to it, because everybody's going through something different and people have different levels of tolerance and acceptance and whatever. But yes, sometimes I feel uncomfortable, okay, with some of the messages that I'm given. And this is why I say to people, if you're going to come, and I've only started doing a recently where I'll take 2 or more people in for a reading together, and it's more difficult. It really is, because you have 2 people who had very different relationships with a person. I'll only take more than 1 person in, by the way, if they are connected with the same person. But you can have two people with very different relationships, and one knew one thing about them and one didn't. And in those cases, it's very difficult because you're bringing up something very personal. So always remember, you know, if you're coming in for a reading, that something personal can come up, something from your past, whatever. So do you really want to come in with somebody else? So I always ask people those things. But yes, I can feel a little uncomfortable, especially when it's something personal about the person. But it's not my job to censor it. I have to give it as I receive it. Okay. Okay, Chelsea, how did you get involved? I don't understand. In what? Oh, how old was I when I noticed my gifts? I've always connected with spirit. I don't even remember the first time. It's my mother that relays some of the early connections that I had to me. And I think I've said this before. One of the first ones was when I was a toddler, still in my cot, you know, barely talking, about this woman that used to always sit on top of my wardrobe for whatever reason, and her little boy that used to sleep with me in the cot. But they weren't ever there. I was in the room on my own, but I used to tell my mother all about the woman and whatever. So always, it's in my family. Both my great grandmothers and one of my great granddads used to connect with spirit a lot. So yeah, so you know, it's not necessarily, I suppose, that it's in the family that I'm anything special. I do believe that other people can do it, but since I was born, so I can't put my finger on the very first time. Okay. You missed your mom. I'm sorry, Sandra. I know everybody misses somebody, but this isn't the right form for personal messages, okay? Because there's so many people connected. It's going up and down here from 50 people to 100 people, and it's moving all the time. So, I mean, I couldn't be giving out messages on this. And besides, I don't have your energy to connect with, okay? Okay, here's an interesting one from Katrina Foley. How come spirits are able to tell you things about the future? They're not, okay? We don't connect with the spirit world to find out about our future. If you're connected with somebody in the spirit world and they mention what's going on in your life or what's coming up, they're giving you their opinion, just as if you were sitting in the kitchen having a cup of tea with them, okay? If you want to find your future, you go for a psychic reading, okay? Anything that comes through from the medium world, it's information about the person that's passed, and it's their opinions, their take on things. It's not your future. Okay, so please understand, and if you have just joined us, go back to the beginning of the video later on, where I've discussed the difference between a psychic and a medium. So they're very different readings. So remember, if you're in a medium reading, you're speaking to somebody, you're getting their opinion. It's as if you were sitting down having a cup of coffee with them. It doesn't mean that this is the way you have to live your life. Okay. Okay, so let's see. What do you think? You become law of attraction. Okay, Leona, I was talking about manifesting things and attracting things. I'm actually going to do a separate one on this, maybe later in the week, maybe Thursday or Friday evening. I just need to sort out my diary for the week and see when I get time. But I will put up something. I'll give people at least 24 hours notice. And can I just say, and I know it's slightly off topic, but people are telling me they miss out on this, they miss out on that, they don't see this, they don't see that. Facebook are very restrictive with what they allow people to see from pages. They want us to pay, basically, for having our posts seen on Facebook. So you won't see everything that goes on my page. You have to like it, and then you have to subscribe to notifications from it if you want to see things, okay? So I will put up on my page later in the week what day and time I'm going to do something on manifesting and the law of attraction, all that kind of stuff. So if you subscribe to my page, then you will get all the notifications. You'll see everything that comes up, okay? Can spirits see our futures? Okay, I've already added that, or answered that, should I say. Okay, love and light. Hi, Anya. I always said if I had a little girl, I'd have called her Anya. I love that name. I want to feel my mother near me, but I can't, and it upsets me. You know, Noreen, why don't you feel her near you? Okay, I think every spirit person will come back and be around us. It's how open we are to the signs that they give us. And I used to be open, and that's why I'm a very bad sleeper, okay? Because it's, and I keep saying this, it's when you're in bed at night time that it's easier for spirits to connect with us, because, you know, we're not thinking about what we're cooking for dinner, you know, have we clothes ironed or for tomorrow, did we change the bed, all this kind of stuff, okay? So you're lying in bed and you're relaxed, and this is the easiest time for them to come to you, and especially in dreams. So that's why I say to people, keep a dream journal, okay? Because you will find that your dreams mean something, and messages that you get in your dreams mean something. Talk to your mom, you know, give her time. For anybody who is starting out interested in, you know, connecting with spirits themselves, whether, you know, you want to do it for the people or just for yourself, I say you have to give, like, don't worry about hours of meditation, Okay, don't worry about hours of meditation. It's not home, you know, you don't have to do it for 2 hours every day. If you give spirit 10 minutes, you know, twice or 3 times a week, just 10 minutes where you sit down and you're not worried about everything that's going on in the world or in your little world, where you just say, right, you know, I'm here, I'm relaxed. Do concentrate on your breathing, okay? But don't think of it as meditation. I mean, even some people just, you know, relaxing in the bath, you know, and just not thinking about things, that could be your 10 minutes. When you're out walking the dog and, you know, you're just not worried, you know, you're trying to keep all the worries and the strains of everyday life out of your head, there's your 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be sitting down in the lotus position chanting. Meditation is different things for different people. So you're just giving them 10 minutes where they can come into your energy, where they can let you know things and give you signs. We just have to be aware of the changes in your body and the changes in your thoughts. Okay, so maybe as we go on, you know, I might do a session on kind of connecting and things like that. But you really have to be very aware of what goes on around you and give spirit time. Okay. Okay, so let's see. It keeps flicking and I don't know where I am. Leona Heffernan, so you only discovered me now watching this. Hi Leona, thanks for tuning in. Okay, I did too, but there's light in the dark. Okay, so you're seeing spirits at night time, Chelsea. I think that's what you're telling me. I'm not 100% sure because I'm missing some of the messages because it keeps jumping up and I keep missing where I am. Okay, Agnes, you feel your little boy is psychic. He talks about seeing a brown thing in his room last week and not an actual creature, but like a person. He was adamant it was in the corner of the room and was okay about it, but was a little worried and freaked out a bit. He is very sensitive. Please tell me this is psychic mediumship type of feeling, and he does talk about seeing spirits in his dreams and laughs a lot in his dreams. Okay, so you don't say what age your son is, but yes, every child is born with the ability to communicate with spirit. You know, it's only as we get older and our common sense kicks in, or maybe sometimes adults tell us that, you know, that we can't be seeing this or whatever, that we start to push it away. But yeah, if you're seeing things, especially if you're seeing a person, what I say to people is pull out the old photographs, all the old relatives that have passed away, leave them out on the table or just put them up around and say, do you recognise any of those? Have you seen any of these before? And you know, 9 times out of 10 they'll pick one out and they'll say, that's who came to visit me. Okay, so it's likely someone he knows. I don't think anybody that he doesn't know would appear to a child like that. Okay, when your mom passed away, you felt nothing but pain. Sandra, that is just so common. You know, we get so caught up in our grief. But you know, we have to remember too that the person we lost is also grieving because they've lost us. Okay. Yeah, they lose us as well, and they have to mourn for the life that they've lost, the people they've lost, and the whole lot. So they're feeling the same pain. So connect. One of the ways I describe connecting with spirit is, you know, if you drop a pebble into water, okay, and it sends out these little circles, okay, so like, I don't know what you call them, but it's like little ripples. That's the word I'm trying to think of. So if you imagine you and your loved one in spirit like walkie-talkies, okay. So you're both on the same frequency because love is your frequency, okay? So when you think about them, when you talk about them, when you miss them, that goes out to them as your receiver walkie-talkie. And that's when they think, oh my God, my loved one needs me, okay? So somebody just said there they can't hear me. Make sure the volume is turned up on your device. Yeah, so you're sending out that radio wave, that signal to them, and that's when they come down to see you, okay? Your spirits, much as they'd love to, they're not with you 24/7, okay? So don't worry about being in the bathroom and all that. You know, they're going to come to you at the times where you need them the most and where they know that you're talking to them or about them, okay? So think of it like little radio signals that you send out to people, okay? Okay, so let's go down here a bit more and see what else. Okay. I know people are looking for personal messages, but that's not the point of this today. Okay. So spirits aren't able to. Any advice from Nana? Okay, so this isn't about just personal readings. Do you ever get scared? Okay, I've done that. So this keeps hopping up and down. So there's a negative energy. I feel the love in this group. You know, there's so much love in this group, Chelsea. It's amazing. And it was one thing actually that I meant to mention when I was talking about suicide earlier, because I did have parents recently who didn't have a support network within this country for to deal with their loss of their child, okay, by suicide. And I was wondering, you know, if maybe people could let me know if they were willing you know, to be, you know, if you've lost someone by suicide, your brother, your sister, your aunt, uncle, your son, daughter, whatever, would you be willing to be a call-on person? Because, you know, someone like that who aren't long in the country and whatever, you know, I would have loved to give them someone they can talk to. I mean, I can recommend, you know, things like Console and stuff like that. But on bank holiday weekends, you know, the helpline is there, but to actually sit and talk to someone who's been through it and to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel would be amazing. So I was just wondering, you know, would people who have been through it, would they be willing to give me contact details that I could keep on a database and maybe only give it, you know, to someone who's going through the same thing? I don't know if that would be too personal or if people would be willing to help, but you can let me know your thoughts on that, please. Okay. Okay, so I know why I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Can you please, I can't see all the comments here for some reason. Okay, so let me go to this. I don't think so. I'm living to take care of my kids. You look, Rose, you look forward to passing away. You know, I was talking to my son about this. My son was 16 the other day. I'm speaking to Rose Hogan here about the comment she put up that she's actually looking forward to passing away. And I think, you know, I don't have a fear of death either, Rose. And I think if I didn't have children, I'd probably be happy to go tomorrow because this life is hard. You know, and I find it hard at the best of times myself, and I stress over things and whatnot. And I'm not scared of passing away. I tell you, I can be a bit nosy. I'm probably afraid that I'll miss out on something and life will just get exciting after I pass. And that's probably my biggest fear. Or that something special will happen for my children and I'll miss out on it. But the one thing I'm not doing is hoping that I'll pass, Rose. And I hope that you're not doing that either. And I might be looking too much into your message. I'm not afraid of passing away. I look forward to meeting those people that I've lost. But life is such a gift. You know, it was given to us. There's so many people. I have a relative whose daughter's been fighting leukemia for 3-4 years now, and she's only 6. And I'm just thinking, you know, it looks like she may pull through, but there may be long-term consequences to her health. But, you know, that's not fair. That child didn't get the chance at life that we did. You know, she spent so long fighting illness, and some of them don't survive, and a lot of the children that she was in a hospital in Dublin with haven't survived. And you know, it's a sad thing. So I'm trying to make the best of every day, and I try to make a memory of every day. So don't wish, Rose, that you weren't here, because I know there's family here that want you here. You know, make the most of every day, but you know, when your time comes, don't be scared of it. Okay? Okay. Hi, Seamus. Seamus O'Neill has come on. He's Master Seamus. He's my son's Taekwondo instructor. Lovely to have you online, Seamus. You should do some of these on your Taekwondo page. Edel, your kids need you. Exactly what I said, Edel. Her kids need her. And her children would suffer. Okay. Your mother-in-law passed. Okay, I'm not doing personal messages. Red icon. Oh, is that for the sound? Okay, thanks, Agnes. I didn't even know that myself. I was just telling people, you know, to make sure they have the sound up if they can't hear me. I could be saving life here. Do you think, Edel, I don't know if people that really feel that they need to leave us or take their lives by suicide, would they be listening and would they listen to me? The only thing I can hope is that maybe I even catch... Okay, sorry, if it pauses, I'll pause talking and bear with me. I'm sorry. I won't keep you much longer because I didn't even tend to stay on 42 minutes and I know it gets boring for people. But yeah, even if if one person says to some loved one tonight, you know, I love you, and you know, you can talk to me about anything, it's not going to change anything. And if that makes a difference in someone's life, then today's 44 minutes has been worth it. Okay. Hi, Serena. Please talk to Rose Hogan. I did speak to Rose there, and I hope I made a difference, because you know, life is precious. We don't know if we're coming back here, and we don't know. I don't know if I'm going to walk under a bus tomorrow, or you know, what's going to happen. But I just hope that I can make the most of it, and that everybody on here makes the most of their life, because it is a gift. Hi Del, Chelsea. If you've been hurt emotionally by someone you love, how can you clear the energy between the two of you involved? Chelsea, it's about stepping down off your high horse, okay? If you've fallen out with somebody, if there's, you know, some hurt going on, somebody's going to have to take the initiative and hold out an olive branch, or the white flag, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, just make up and say, well, you know, life is too short for this. I had 2 relatives, actually, and I know they won't mind me using it. They're my beloved uncles. Kevin, who died when he was 31, and his brother. and they hadn't talked for ages because of something that went on. But just before Kevin died, his father died, my granddad, my beloved granddad John. And at the funeral they made up, you know, and they were kind of pushed together by their other siblings. There was 10 in the family, and they made up and they were talking. And that was just, you know, those 9.5 weeks before Kevin died. And, you know, wasn't it lovely? Because had they stood their ground, had they both stayed stubborn, then, you know, there would have been a lifetime of regret there. So I'm so glad that they made up. So I think we all need to do it. I need to do it myself, you know, with family members. And sometimes we try and, you know, it's not reciprocated, but at least we know we've tried. Okay. Hi, Del. Can you please just tell us you talked to Rose? I just mentioned Rose. And Rose, if you have something, you know, in particular that's going on for you, just, you know, message me. Okay. I'll try my best to come back to you. Yeah, I know. I've been through the loss of my brother and I see how it leaves you feel. I wouldn't do it to my kids or my mum. Okay, that's great, Rose. And I think you're making people feel a lot better by replying, okay? Everyone's been through a loss. The hardest thing is, you know, seeing the light at the tunnel when you're grieving, okay? And life is never the same. You don't go back to life. I remember someone saying to me after a loss, you know, everybody else went back to their own life, whereas mine was changed forever. And how true is that statement? Because death does change your life forever. It doesn't mean that life won't be good. It doesn't mean that life won't go on, but you know, that person's gone. So that's going to change something about you and about how you interact with people. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, Rose. So please stay with us. You know how you felt when you lost your brother, so you don't want to do that to other people. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Mary comes, are you saying I'm a blessing? That's so sweet, but look, I'm just a normal person. No blessing here. Okay, Mary, you get spirits all the time. Okay, so tell us your experiences. Katrina O'Connor, just reincarnation, question mark. You're asking me, do I believe in reincarnation? I do, and I believe that it's a choice, okay? I think, you know, that if we've done something, we'll only come back for the amount of times that we need to in order to achieve a level of spirituality that we need to progress, okay? And it'll be a choice. If there's something you need to make up for something that you've done wrong in this life, you'll come back just for as long as you need to in order to make that right. So in the case of a miscarried baby, whatever difference they've made to your life just by being in your room for however many weeks or months, that was all they needed to progress. Someone's here to 98, you know, that's the amount of time they needed to be here to progress. So yes, I do think we get the choice either that we do something in the afterlife to make up for anything that we may have done wrong, or we get the choice to come back. So it'll be up to us. Anyone who's here has chosen to be here. We've chosen to be here for whatever reason. Rose, sorry, not for attention, just how you feel. Rose, this is the place to express how you feel, because everybody that's here has lost somebody, okay? And, you know, we feel it and we know exactly what you're going through. You lost your brother. I talk about Kevin, my uncle, but my mum was from a family of 10. So we were raised with the younger ones, and Kevin was like a big brother to me, okay? So it was a huge, huge loss. I know exactly how it feels to lose a brother, okay? And, you know, that never ends. And I miss him every single day, and I still cry talking about him. I miss him every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him or wish that he was here. And it's 27 years ago since he died. I was very young, but you know, he made such an impact on my life, and your brother the same. And don't forget, Rose, that you're making that impact on somebody else's life. Hi, Andrea. You had experience when you're sleeping. You were having a dream, started to feel pain in your arm. When you woke up, you couldn't move. I felt very scared. Then I noticed a black shadow lift off my body. I was able to move again. What do you think this could be? I spoke to whatever it was and told them they're not allowed to touch my body. It hasn't happened since. Okay, Andrea. I don't feel that it was anybody touching your body, okay? You may have seen the energy in the room, but what happens is, I would say you're very clairsentient, which means you feel the energy of spirit. And this has happened to me on several occasions, okay? Especially when, you know, you're in bed asleep, it's the easiest time for spirit to connect with you, okay? Unlikely, especially for the early contacts, that someone that you don't know will come to see you. So who do you know that died? What did you feel when you couldn't move? So, for example, you know, and I'm sorry to keep talking about Kevin that died, but he's, you know, because he was so close to me, and I can use what I experienced from his death, you know, when I'm working. And I said earlier in the video that I got fixated with how he died. And I asked him to show me. 3 weeks after he died, I said, I just can't take this. My head's going to explode. Will you show me? And he did, and he showed me in great detail where he died, how the accident happened, why it happened, all the rest of it. And a while later, I was in bed again, and I felt I needed him. I missed him so much, but when he came close to me, all I could feel, and when I say he came close to me, his energy, okay, not the physical form that he was in, but when his energy came close, I felt exactly how he felt when he died, okay? And I don't mean to upset anybody by describing this, but he died after a motorcycle accident, okay? He had various broken bones, but one of his lungs was punctured and deflated, and the other filled with fluid, whether it was blood or whatever, I don't know. But so he couldn't breathe. So he was lying on the road, and all he could move were his eyes, and he was looking around at everybody, trying to see as people were arriving to try and give him aid at the side of the road. And that's exactly how I felt. And I was in bed, and it felt like an eternity. I thought I was dying. It felt like there was a 10-ton truck on my chest. I could not breathe. I couldn't move. I couldn't move a muscle. I ached everywhere. And that's exactly what it was. It was him trying to come through to me, but because we're so emotionally attached, I felt the pain he felt when he passed. So Andrea, I have no doubt that there was someone trying to connect with you, but you got caught up in that pain as well. So you're extremely clairsentient, okay? So that's something to watch out for. I don't think there's anybody trying to hurt you. It's just as they were coming through to you to try and connect, you felt how they felt when they were passing. Okay, but you also saw the energy, so you're also clairvoyant. Okay, so loads of things going on there, Andrew. You definitely need, I don't know what part of the world you're in, you definitely need maybe to join a circle or whatever. If you wish to make sense of it, if you don't want to connect with spirit, just tell them, I don't want this connection, please leave me alone, and come back to them when the time is right for you. Okay, so very quickly, I'll do a few more. I don't want to keep you too long. I have never had a reading or anyone come through to me. Okay, Samantha, well, you can't have anyone come through to you if you don't have a reading. Simple answer to that one, and I don't mean to sound smart, but, and especially when you want to talk to your own relatives, it's very hard to connect with your own people, because when I'm connecting with an energy with someone for somebody else, you know, it's how I know that it's not my imagination is because I'm getting information right, telling them things about them that I never knew. So if you're trying to connect with your own spirits, your own relatives, you're going to know so much about them that you're not going to know exactly is it something they're telling you or something that you knew about them originally. So that's what can make it more difficult. Okay, it's good to talk. Much love. I'm always here and would never judge. Hi. Where are you from, Chelsea? Are you in Ireland? How can we clear blocks with spirit? Okay, Austin. I'm not really sure what you mean by blocks. Is it that you're trying to connect with somebody? You feel that you've pushed somebody away? The only reason that a spirit would, well, in my experience, okay, that a spirit has pulled back from me is because I've been scared. But it's mostly been because as they come close to me that I feel such pain. And if it does pain me, then they tend to pull back. And they can't help it because they're just bringing their energy through. But unfortunately for me, then I feel, you know, the pain. So just as I was describing a minute ago. So what's blocking it? It would be mostly, I feel, you blocking something. You know, is there something you're afraid of hearing? You know, are you afraid of making this contact? Is there pain coming with the contact? It just depends what you mean, Austin. Okay, so maybe if you could be a little clearer. Okay, okay, Debbie, yeah, I don't know what you mean by a block. Okay, Bernie, you lost your baby boy before your dad. When your dad was passing, I was with him. Dad told me he was going to take care of my son for me. How do I know they are together? Well, really, you need to connect with your dad, Bernie, or your baby to find out in order if they're together in spirit. But look, we always meet the people that we love, and if Dad has promised you, he's definitely going to seek out your baby and he's going to look after him for you. Okay. Your mum died. Okay, she's going to be around you, of course, Nikki. Okay, Mary's going. Sorry, Mary. Bye. I'd love to know if my nephews are around me. Anybody that you love is going to come back and see that you're okay. When you commit suicide, you don't take away the pain, you just pass it on. And that's true, Leona, because we always know, I mean, everybody that dies leaves someone grieving behind. And, you know, someone that dies by suicide, and, you know, just as a point, and it's not critical, I do it myself sometimes because suicide used to be illegal. So therefore we used to commit suicide in the way we commit robbery or commit murder, okay? But it's not illegal anymore. So, you know, we say that people die by suicide because, you know, they're not being persecuted in heaven for, or in the afterlife for dying by suicide. Okay, it is an illness. But yes, we're passing a grief on. And even for, you know, anybody that's died by suicide that I've connected with, it doesn't end their suffering. It doesn't take away the problems or the issues that they've had to deal with. So whereas people may see it as an end, it isn't actually necessarily, because it's just creating a whole new thing for them to worry about. So not only have they still got the emotional things going on that they had, okay, all you leave behind is your physical body. Remember, you don't leave your emotions behind. So they're still going to have to deal with the emotional things that they were worried about in this life. But on top of that, they're going to have to deal with the guilt that they've left people. So there is a lot going on for people that die by suicide, okay? But, you know, all we can do is our best, and we can't take any blame for it, because, you know, people are hurting, and there's a lot of hurt in the world at the moment. So, you know, I mean, I'm always here. There's so many people that are always out there. There's 24-hour helplines all over the place. And I've posted them several times. There's Console. I can only vouch for the Irish ones because I don't know about internationally. But there's so many people there that you can talk to. Even if you reach out to a family member or a friend that can contact someone on your behalf. Okay, your Nana died 2 years ago. Why wouldn't she be with you, Bernadette? You were so close. Aoife, thank you, Aoife. I don't think, though, I'm amazing. Everybody that's on here is amazing, because I don't do this by myself. Okay, you're all here and you're creating the interaction, so it's you that's amazing. Hi Paul, I'm sorry to hear that your brother's passed, but I'm not going to be doing individual connections. Okay. Hi Keith. Oh Keith, I met you in Waterford, I believe. Okay, your partner and child died in the hospital. You feel there is more to their death. She was trying to tell me something in a dream. Do you know what? Keith, no, I need to connect with her again. I know she came through with the show in Waterford, but it's very limited what you can do with the show. It can't turn into a personal reading, because there was, like, you know, nearly 100 other people in the room. So we need to connect with her again and see if she has a message, or she was just trying to say goodbye to you. Okay. Okay, Dad passed. The first time you dreamt of him, the first time was slight, the second one was 3 weeks before Mum got ill with stage 4 lung cancer at the time, a few nights ago. Quite anxious to know what he's trying to tell me this time. Okay, well, Nikki, I don't know, because I haven't experienced the dream and I haven't connected with your dad. That's why I say keep dream journals, because, you know, you'll dream about things and they may not make sense. But if you write down before you forget what you dreamt about, you know, it could be 6 weeks, 6 months down the road, something happened, it'll sound familiar to you, and then you can go back through your journal and see. And, you know, dream interpretation is a whole other thing. There used to be a guy on Today FM, Paul something, and I can't remember his name, but he was brilliant. And he used to make so much sense out of people's dreams. People used to email in dreams that they couldn't make sense of, and he used to make so much sense out of them. So write down, you know, what you feel is being told to you, or what you're dreaming about, because it may be a message from Dad, and it might not make sense to you until something happens. But after a while, you'll get to know the signs and the different meanings of different things you're seeing in your dreams. Okay? You just got goosebumps, Bernie. Will you ever... Okay, Lorraine, I'm not doing... Quick, okay, that's no problem. Okay, so I've got to the end of the comments. I think I got everyone's comments, and I may have missed some because I wasn't getting them all on my computer for some reason. I'm just not very tech savvy. So look, it's been almost an hour. I think that's long enough, and thanks to those that stayed with me and those that are watching. You know, I'm not an expert. I talk from my experience. Be guided by your hearts. You know, we call it the solar plexus, but I know the older people would have called it your gut instinct. If you feel that someone's there, if you feel they're trying to tell you something, then likely they are, okay? If you feel that something's going to happen, then likely it is. Just be aware of what's going on around you. You know, even the little butterflies, the little robins, the little feathers, the little signs from spirit. Someone told me recently during a reading that, you know, they asked somebody for a sign, and jokingly they said, well, send me some money so that I know it's you around me. And lo and behold, they found €50 where they knew there wasn't €50 there earlier in the day. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying we're all going to get €50 from a spirit, but it was amazing to know that they were just listening and they did their best to give him the sign that he'd asked for. So always talk about, you know, ask them things, ask them to show you things, make it easy for them to show you things. Whether you put a marble on a flat surface or you have a candle in lighting in a room where you're sure there's no drafts, and get them to blow it, to manipulate them, get them to knock on the wall. I've had some of the best conversations with my relatives, getting them to knock on the wall, you know, twice for yes, once for no, whatever, and just ask them yes and no questions. The pendulum, it's a brilliant way to get messages. I love my pendulum. I love my Ouija board. I know it's not for everybody, but whatever way you feel that you can manifest the vision, the messages for yourselves. And we will do one later in the week about manifesting positive things in your life and the power of positive thinking, positive affirmations and stuff like that. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody got a little something from it today. I'm sorry for the people that are asking for personal readings. Sorry, just jumped there again. I'm sorry for people that have been asking for personal readings, because this isn't the forum for personal readings. But, you know, I try my best to get through as many questions as I can and answer as many messages and emails as I can. But as I say, if you're looking for information about appointments and stuff, it's all on the website. I can't possibly answer every single message that I get, although I try my best. Look, thanks for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here with me today. And take care of yourselves and each other. And just, as I say, subscribe to, or there's something on the page where you can subscribe and get notifications. Let me see if I can see very quickly. Let's see, something about notifications. Oh no, that's my notifications. Okay. Oh, I don't know. There's something in settings or notifications anywhere where you can subscribe, and you can, you know, ask to get notifications when there's something new put on the page. Because otherwise I have to pay for advertising for people to see my posts, and if I'm going to start doing that, then I'm going to have to start charging more, and I don't want to. I think readings should be accessible and available to everybody regardless of income, so I'm keeping my readings as what they are for as long as I can, and you know, so bear with me and try and you know, subscribe to the page if you can, because that's the only way you're going to see everything that comes up. So as I say, it'll be the Thursday or Friday evening. We'll definitely do something on positive affirmations manifestation. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.